Hi everyone, how's it going? This is Gersher from Technical Option Traders. Hope you guys are having a great day. So looking at the S&P 500, let's get right into it. The market is looking very interesting here. It's settling in price, which is causing us to believe that there could be further volatility or a down move ahead. So what I'm looking for today is the range in this candlestick and the wicks. The top and bottom are at equilibrium. Nice body in the middle. This is not turning out to be directional in any kind of way. Okay, so just kind of non-directional move here. Let's look at the weekly candle here. The weekly candle not looking so good here. We got to sell. Looking like a doji here or even an inverted hammer. So this overall, we want to see what price action confirms. However, the other thing I want to focus on right now and tell you guys is on the weekly, look at this aggressive sell volume. Rising sell volume with aggressive price movement downwards. This is bearish. Yes, we can have a rally towards about 430. That's perfectly fine, but that does not mean it's bullish. It's just a pullback. If we can go to 430 and get rejected again, further moves to our downside is coming just because on volume alone, this is massive move, right? So that's one thing that we want to pay attention to, that this move by this volume here and it's confirmation that we could have price action that could push lower over the next coming weeks and months. Okay, so that's for SPY. And also on the hourly time frame, if we look at a smaller time frame here, as you guys can see, this is a big range for SPY. If we break the 403 and 400 level, we're going to break down to about 400 and then about 395 and then 360. Okay, so that's something we want to keep an eye on. This is triple top that's panning out here. We're breaking, but we have to wait and break the 404 level. But the volume overall is a different story. On the daily time frame, we had aggressive sell here, and now we have some sort of buying or holding here. So this declining volume is not enough for us if this is going to bounce from here, right? So overall, price action is testing the lows, but remember one thing, it's not breaking down, right? So we do have rising volume here on the weekly time frame, but we have to wait for price action to completely break below this level at 404 and get to here about 393, and then we can push lower here. But this volume on the weekly is not something I want to see. This is bearish in all around to me. Looking at triple Q here, starting from the weekly picture, overall rising volume once again on this down move. This is confirmation that we're pushing down here. Can we get to this level at 298? If we break below this, easily we see about 250 to 259, 260. Okay, we see this right here. This is definitely on the mark. So I have this area highlighted here. As you guys can see on the triple Qs, if we do get a pullback, possible rejection zone at 342. Okay. So this is something that we want to focus on if the price does pull back. But the overall, if this market going to come back up to here, we can't really tell right now. But with the VIX rising, gold rising again, and these sector energy and oil and gas sectors and commodities up at the top, it's telling a story right now. We can have a further down move here, and also on the weekly time frame on the triple Qs here, we do have a head and shoulder formation going on here. Okay. That's breaking down here, so that's something we want to keep an eye on, or even a right angle broadening formation, which is like this. Okay, so this is going on right now here, so that's something we want to pay attention to. If this breaks down, possible down move on the way, and the down move that we're looking at is somewhere in this area, 260. Okay, so Qs are coming down here again. SPY is falling as well as we're speaking. So we did get an alert that went off right now for S triple Q, which is short triple Q. So that's something we want to pay attention to. But look at the overall sector. Look at the overall market. The death cross happened here. Since the death cross, the decline in price right now has been about 12%, 13%. Maybe we go. So that's why even if we push down to here, that's going to be a 25% pull down. But we're still way above the 2020 level here. So there's nothing wrong with that. So we'll see what happens. But overall, the Qs right now are very vulnerable to a downside move. And on the weekly time frame, just because we have this level right here, which is rising volume, it's a warning sign. I'd be definitely watching this move to the downside further. And we can definitely get to 260 based on just the volume alone. That's confirming this move here. So we want to see if it's going to break out the downtrend. We want to see a break of 342, then 350, and price consolidate up here, then push higher here. But right now, we do not have that move. Okay. Looking at IWM, like I said, IWM is going to break down eventually. So if we look at a daily time frame, it's below this level. IWM is on the way to 170 here, right? We try to push back above the 193. We're not able to get there. We're at 182, broke below 182, and now we're working our way towards 170. So this is a continued move. Small caps will continue to sell, and we will get here. If we look at this, this is a classic example of a distribution. Now we have a confirmation that the distribution is complete here, and so we're unable to get above and make new highs. We made a new low here, which is right about here. The low area is defended once again, but because buyers are not able to push up one more time, and the sellers are taking control, pushing the price lower. So we have continuous selling pressure on IWM, and it's continuing to hold true for now. So we'll see what happens with IWM in the coming weeks, but the target now remains 170. We could have a pullback towards 185 or 184 again. However, I'm still watching 170 for a downside move here. Dow Jones, so we're below the ascending, so symmetrical triangle trend line here. So if we break 322, we're going to push our way down to 305 and possibly 298. So that's the level we want to keep our eye on. Dow Jones is starting to collapse as well, all the index, which makes sense. If we look at all the sectors are red except for energy and oil and gas. So this makes sense that the market is getting bearish here. So that's something that we want to keep an eye on. So all sectors are dropping and continue to drop aggressively here. Looking at the VIX, VIX has come down just a little bit. However, it's still in a consolidation zone, which looks like it wants to break out here. So the VIX is an important sign to what's going on here in the market. The VIX is not really dropping. The market is continuing to drop, right? So VIX is holding. So we need volatility to decrease in the market. We need a little bit more clarity in the market. Right now, there's a lot of possibilities and probabilities. There's no direction. So we're getting impulsive moves based on like speculation and also, short-term moves, and algorithms are winning right now. As retail traders right now, you probably shouldn't be trading this market because it's non-directional. Okay. Especially on a day trading time frame, you have to wait for a confirmation here. Okay. So that's something we want to keep an eye on. If we look at gold here, gold trading between this level here, it tried to bounce and get above like 178, unable to do so. We need a break of at least 180 and then push higher to 183. But right now, gold is trading between the 50 and the 200-day. Like I told you guys, when a stock is trading between these two levels, these two EMAs, you want to avoid because it's just choppiness. There's no direction here. However, the 200 is holding, so that's a positive sign. So if we push out towards gold and look at the weekly time frame here, it is easily coming back to test a lower level. Can it bounce from here? Only time will tell. But the trend right now on the short term is downtrend, but this trend line is holding as well. So we need this trend line to hold. If this trend line breaks, then we're going to look into bearish positions in gold, and we'll see what the reason or the catalyst for that is. But for now, gold is just it's sideways right now. Looking at Bitcoin on the weekly, we're getting a breakdown here. There's been consistent sell volume that's been rising here. If we get a break below 34,000, we're going to push a lot lower. Okay, so let's look at the daily time frame here. We've been watching this level for quite some time. 37,000 break, we're pushing down to 34,000. Break below this is a gap fill, and we can easily get to about 33,000. Okay, so that's something that we want to keep an eye on to see where Bitcoin goes from here. But so far, it's looking like it wants to break down completely, right? So if we look at some of the major ETFs that we've been watching, KWEB, this is China, unable to hold this gap. Gap was filled. This is the trend line. If this trend line breaks, there's another gap down, and we're going to make our way lower here. So keep your eye on KWEB here. So unable to hold that gap. If this consolidation did hold, I was looking for a move higher. Unfortunately, unable to do so, and it's continuing to break down here. Okay, so that's something that we want to focus on. Okay, and we'll see what happens with this. But next step here is ARK. ARK is something we really want to keep an eye on as well. Like I told you guys, this is just a pullback. It doesn't mean anything. We need 60, then 70, right? Until these levels hold up, we can continue to bleed out to the downside, and that is exactly what is happening. Okay, so overall, this whole market is bearish. There's nothing positive about it. A lot of sideways, choppy action. Just kind of keep light, keep to yourself. In the sense that don't trade too often. Just keep it steady and look for better entries right now. There's a lot of opportunities that will be coming in the near future here. If you didn't get anything this week, that's okay. You will get opportunities next week or next month. Trading is available, all the time. This market's been around, so just take it easy. Wait for setups. Don't risk your money if you don't need to. And I'll see you guys next week. Enjoy your weekend.